I've got some troubling news about England's royal family.
I know she will bring to the demands of her new role the steadfast devotion to duty on which I have come to rely so much.
The royal family is no stranger to tension, but this latest development has shaken things even further. Reports now say that Prince William is considering stripping Queen Camilla of her title after she was allegedly caught bullying Prince George and Prince Louis at a recent royal event. Before this, Camilla had already drawn criticism for her remarks about Princess Catherine's parenting. But this new incident has pushed things to a breaking point. What exactly happened between Camilla and the boys? And what would it really mean if her royal title is taken away? Join us as we uncover how Queen Camilla was caught bullying Prince George and Louis. How Camilla was caught bullying Prince George and Louis. A trusted palace staff member, known for keeping things private, accidentally overheard something surprising. At a recent royal event, Queen Camilla was reportedly seen speaking sharply to Prince George and Prince Louis. This quickly drew public attention, especially with the already tense relationship between Queen Camilla and Prince William. But when the situation was looked into more closely, the truth turned out to be quite different. We know you're curious to find out what really happened, so stay with us, because we've got the full story coming up. This news was confirmed by a professional lip reader who was present at the royal event. The lip reader, Jeremy Freeman, closely analyzed the moment when Queen Camilla and Princess Kate appeared to exchange tense words. It reportedly took place during a formal lineup, where Prince George and Princess Charlotte stood behind King Charles alongside other senior royals. Freeman claims that during this moment, Prince George and Prince Louis were seen trying to pinch their sister Charlotte. The princess is said to have let out a small yelp and turned around to face her brothers. Queen Camilla, noticing the commotion, allegedly frowned at the behavior and, according to the analysis, turned to Princess Kate with a firm directive to manage the situation. Sources claim that Camilla pointed toward Charlotte and instructed Kate, saying, "Take her." Other lip readers who reviewed the footage noted that Charlotte, despite the earlier scuffle, was seen throughout the event offering gentle advice to her brothers, moments that didn't go unnoticed by sharp-eyed royal watchers. The entire exchange has sparked fresh debate about family dynamics within the royal household. Although Queen Camilla has in the past condemned Princess Catherine's parenting style, some past events have shown that she cherishes Prince William's children, unlike what the public is meant to believe. Her criticism may have stirred disapproval, but beyond the headlines and whispers, there are moments, quiet yet telling, that show a more nuanced relationship. These are not mere royal formalities, often overlooked gestures that speak volumes about affection. Over the years, Camilla has been part of the parts of these children's lives, weaving herself in with more warmth than many would care to admit. In 2011, during Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding, Camilla wasn't just there as a royal figure. She smiled, she mingled, and she paid special attention to the younger members of the bridal party. Cameras caught her laughing and leaning down to speak with the kids, including those close to William and Kate. She didn't act stiff or distant. There was a softness in her eyes, the kind that feels familiar, like how a grandmother might look when she's quietly proud. That was the first hint that maybe Camilla was trying to be more than just the step-grandmother. But it didn't end there. Fast forward to 2013, when Prince George was born.
This baby that has been born isn't just a descendant of dead kings, but also a descendant via the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana, of William Shakespeare.
Camilla didn't just say the right words for the press. She looked happy. She described the moment as a wonderful occasion, and while anyone can say that,
5 minutes of reading every day for invaluable benefits for brain health and mental well-being. Just as we always suspected, Books are good for us.
The way she said it mattered. Her voice carried excitement, her smile was wide, and there was no trace of forced formality. It felt real. She spoke not just as a senior royal, but as someone who understood what that day meant for William, for Kate, and for their growing family. By 2015, when Princess Charlotte arrived, Camilla went even further. She spoke kindly about Kate, praising how calm and graceful she was as a mother. This was during a time when the public still whispered about tension between them. Some thought Camilla might still be cold or competitive. But her words showed something different, maybe even a touch of respect. She didn't have to say those things, but she did, and that meant something. In 2017, during the Trooping the Colour ceremony, Camilla stood on the Buckingham Palace balcony next to George and Charlotte.
Everything is set for one of the great state events of the season. And for the first time in 8 years, it is the turn of the Irish Guards to troop their colour.
While the big moment focused on the fly past and waving to the crowd, Camilla paid quiet attention to the children. She turned toward them often, smiled, gave small nods, and offered a calm presence. These gestures didn't grab headlines, but they mattered. It wasn't about putting on a show. She looked like someone who wanted to make sure the kids were fine. A year later, in 2018, there was the Easter Walk at St. George's Chapel. Compared to other royal events, it was low-key, but that made the softer moments stand out more. As the family walked together, Camilla stayed close to George and Charlotte. She didn't take center stage. Instead, she walked near them, sometimes just behind, sometimes beside, watching over them without being overbearing. Her body language said she was paying attention, gently guiding them when needed. Then came the summer of 2019, with the polo match that felt more like a family picnic. Camilla joined Kate and the children for a relaxed afternoon on the grass. There were no royal speeches or formal appearances, just sandwiches, juice boxes, and sunshine. Camilla sat nearby, blending in rather than standing apart. She wasn't there to impress anyone. She was just part of the group. That comfort, that ease, said more than any press statement ever could. By 2022, as preparations began for the coronation, Camilla made a clear choice. She didn't separate her grandchildren from William's. She included everyone. The rehearsals weren't just about getting things right. They were about showing what kind of royal family this would be. And Camilla made sure it would be a united one. She didn't draw lines. She brought people together. That decision sent a message that every child in the circle mattered, regardless of whose blood they shared. In 2023, during the coronation itself, Prince George had a special role as Page of Honor. It was a huge responsibility for someone his age. But George handled it well, walking with focus and calm. That didn't just happen overnight. It took trust, practice, and support. And Camilla was part of that support. She backed his role, encouraged it, and praised him openly. Giving a child that kind of part meant believing in him. Camilla didn't just let it happen. She helped make it happen. Even in 2024, while talk of tension between Camilla and Catherine continued to swirl, Camilla remained present for the children. At events like Trooping the Colour and the Christmas Walk at Sandringham, she didn't keep her distance. She was seen standing near Catherine and the kids, waving to the crowd, sharing small glances with Louis, smiling at Charlotte, and letting George take the lead when greeting people. These were quiet choices, but they told their own story. They showed that she sees them and chooses to be part of their lives, even if not everyone notices. But despite these moments, many believed otherwise. Rumors have swirled that Prince William is preparing to strip Camilla of her royal titles over claims that she bullied Prince George and Prince Louis. But how true are these claims? And does Prince William even have the power to take such action? Stay tuned. What you're about to hear may just be the most surprising royal twist yet. Will Camilla be stripped of her royal titles? Royal titles in the United Kingdom are not just decorations. They are rooted in hundreds of years of tradition, official rules, and unspoken customs shaped by kings and queens over time. These titles, like Duke, Duchess, Prince, Princess, and Queen Consort, are given through royal choice and guided by documents called letters patent. The whole system is carefully balanced between history and rank, and while it might seem like any senior royal could give or take away these titles, the truth is more complicated. This setup places serious limits even on someone as important as Prince William. Royal titles are not picked at random or taken away on a whim. They follow strict rules and come directly from the decision of the king or queen. The current monarch, King Charles, is the only person who has the legal power to give or remove these titles. His ability to do that comes through something called letters patent, official papers that go back hundreds of years. When Queen Elizabeth, for example, wanted to make sure all of Prince William's children would be called Prince or Princess, she issued a letters patent in 2012. These papers are not just symbolic. They have real authority within the royal family. Without them, even people born into royalty might not receive certain titles. So when people ask if Prince William can take away Queen Camilla's titles, it's important to understand that he does not have the legal power to do that right now. Parliament has stepped in once or twice, like with the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917, but that was rare and happened during extreme situations like war. Normally, the power to take away royal titles belongs only to the monarch, not the next in line. Prince William, although very influential as the future king, can't make those decisions until he takes the throne. Queen Camilla's titles are layered and full of meaning. When Charles became king, Camilla officially became Queen Consort. This is the title given to the wife of a ruling monarch. She also holds other titles like Duchess of Cornwall and Princess of Wales, though she doesn't use the last one in public out of respect for the late Princess Diana. These titles place her high in the royal family, second only to the king. But it's worth remembering that Queen Consort is not the same as a ruling queen like Queen Elizabeth II was. It simply means she is the king's wife and has a ceremonial, not ruling role. But then, there is something many didn't know about Camilla's present position. Camilla's path to this position was not easy. In the early years after Diana's death, the public didn't welcome her. Camilla's relationship with Charles, once seen as a scandal, left a lasting impression on how people viewed her. But over time, she slowly gained acceptance. A big turning point came in February 2022, when Queen Elizabeth said in her Jubilee message that she wanted Camilla to be called Queen Consort when Charles became king. That message gave Camilla a kind of stamp of approval that few could argue with. As Prince of Wales, William has a lot of symbolic influence, but very little legal power. His titles, Prince of Wales, Duke of Cornwall, and Duke of Cambridge, are impressive, but they don't give him the right to make legal changes to the monarchy. His role is more about tradition and advice than action. The structure of the monarchy depends on this clear chain of command. If that order were broken, it could cause serious problems. But what if William becomes king? Would he then have the right to remove Camilla's titles? Technically, yes. The king can issue new letters patent or cancel old ones. But doing something like that would cause huge controversy. It wouldn't just shake things up inside the royal family, it might also upset the public, especially those who have come to accept Camilla. Even though it would be legal, the emotional and public reaction would be serious. There have been times when royal titles were taken away, but they're rare. One of the most recent examples is Prince Andrew. After serious accusations against him, Queen Elizabeth removed his Royal Highness styling and some of his official roles. That decision came directly from the Queen. Similarly, when Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back from their royal duties, they lost their working roles, although they kept their titles. In both cases, the Queen made the final call. No heir has ever had that power unless they were already king or queen. The relationship between William and Camilla has had its struggles. When he was younger, William reportedly had a hard time accepting Camilla, mostly because of his deep love and loyalty to his late mother, Princess Diana. Writers who've studied the royal family believe William was often distant and unsure about Camilla's place in the family. This wasn't just about feelings, it became part of his public image as someone loyal to Diana. William has always made it clear that he wants to honor his mother's memory. He's spoken about her many times, both as a mother and as someone who helped people in need. This strong connection may be part of why he has a quiet discomfort with Camilla's role. When talk began about Camilla becoming queen, there were signs that William wasn't fully at ease with it. The title Princess Consort was first suggested as a way to soften her image, but that idea was later dropped. William never publicly objected to her being called Queen, showing again that his role right now has limits. The public hasn't fully embraced Camilla in the way it did Diana. Surveys still show that Diana is remembered more warmly. Many people still think of Camilla as the woman who came between Charles and Diana, which makes it hard for some to fully accept her as queen. Even though Camilla has worked quietly and respectfully in her role, she still lives in the shadow of that past. When William becomes king, he might not officially challenge Camilla's titles, but he could still change how the public sees her. Still, if William ever took the big step of formally removing Camilla's title as queen, the effects would be huge. It wouldn't just seem like a personal choice, it would feel like a political statement. The king is expected to stay neutral and bring people together. If William took back Camilla's title, it might divide the country. Some people would support him, seeing it as a way to defend his mother's honor. And that's partly because Camilla is often seen by the public as a source of royal tension, someone whose presence has stirred conflict within the family. But how true is this? How did the long-running rifts in the royal family really begin? Let's find out. How Camilla stirred the royal rift. Long before the world truly knew who Camilla Parker Bowles was, she had already left an invisible mark on the royal family. Her relationship with Prince Charles didn't begin in scandal, but it ended up casting a long shadow over everything that followed. When they first met in the early 1970s, Charles was instantly drawn to her. Yet despite their closeness, he didn't propose. While he was away serving in the Navy, Camilla got engaged to Andrew Parker Bowles, a man who had once dated Princess Anne. That detail, the fact that Camilla later married Anne's former lover, planted the first seed of tension. Though the relationship between Anne and Andrew never lasted, due to royal protocol, the emotional drama had already begun, with Camilla right in the middle of it. That drama only grew more when Prince Charles married Lady Diana Spencer. On the surface, it was a perfect match. Young, beautiful Diana, and the heir to the throne.
HIV does not make people dangerous to know. So you can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it.
But beneath it, Diana was already fighting an invisible opponent. From early on, she suspected Charles was still emotionally tied to Camilla. Her fears were confirmed as time passed, and the connection between Charles and Camilla never really disappeared. Diana once described the situation with heartbreaking clarity, saying there were 3 people in her marriage, and she had always known who the third was. That truth didn't just shatter her world, it stirred something deeper in the royal family and the public. After Diana's tragic death in 1997, the sorrow turned into outrage.
You believe there was a conspiracy to kill
Definitely,
Dodi?
they been murdered. Dodi and Diana been murdered, definitely. I am the father who knows everything.
The public saw Camilla not only as the woman who had caused the breakdown of a royal marriage, but as someone who contributed, even indirectly, to Diana's pain. The royal family knew this, and for years, Camilla was carefully hidden from the public eye. While Charles continued his relationship with her behind palace walls, any mention of her name still triggered bitterness in newspaper headlines. The Queen herself reportedly disapproved of the relationship for a long time. Trusting Camilla with a public role would have seemed tone-deaf to a nation still mourning the loss of their beloved princess. Even within the family, Camilla's presence stirred silent discomfort. Prince William, who had been very close to his mother, reportedly struggled with the idea of accepting Camilla into their lives. As a boy, he saw firsthand how much Diana had suffered, and now the woman partly responsible for that hurt was becoming a permanent fixture. His eventual civility toward Camilla came not from affection, but from maturity and duty. There was no record of major fights, but his reserved nature around her spoke louder than words. Prince Harry, on the other hand, would later make his feelings far more known, and not just through whispers. In his memoir, Harry made some of the boldest statements about Camilla to date. He accused her of using the press to improve her image, even at the cost of others in the royal family. According to him, she was not just calculating but dangerous, someone willing to leak stories and let others take the fall, if it meant strengthening her public role. He even described her as leaving bodies in the street, painting her as someone who had played a long game to eventually wear the crown. It wasn't just about the past anymore. It was about control, image, and who would be sacrificed along the way. The coldness wasn't only from the younger royals. Princess Anne, Charles's only sister, had always been known for her bluntness and strong sense of duty. Her relationship with Camilla never seemed to soften over the years. Some pointed to their shared history, that Camilla married Anne's ex-boyfriend, but others believed Anne simply didn't respect the path Camilla had taken. Anne lived her life by strict standards and expected the same from others. Watching her brother's longtime mistress become queen consort might have felt like a break in everything Anne had stood for. And while Princess Catherine has always remained publicly polite, there have been whispers that Camilla may have crossed certain lines. When Charles finally married Camilla in 2005, they tried to do so quietly and respectfully. Camilla took the title of Duchess of Cornwall, avoiding the title of Princess of Wales, which still felt sacred in the memory of Diana. But that didn't erase the past. Many people in the country still felt uneasy. They had seen the photos, read the headlines, and remembered Diana's tears. Camilla might now be married to the future king, but for many, she would never truly be forgiven. Still, Charles remained determined. Over the years, he worked slowly to reshape the public's view of Camilla. And though progress was made, it came at a cost. Tensions within the family continued to grow, especially as Charles pushed for Camilla to be recognized not just as a companion, but as his future queen. This wasn't what the public had been told years ago. Early on, it was said Camilla would never be queen, just princess consort. Yet here she was, inching closer to the throne. That shift, to many observers, felt like a betrayal of the original promise. It also deepened the rift with Harry and, perhaps more quietly, with William too. But then, the tension wasn't only about titles. It was about how Camilla, with her long and tricky past, seemed to stay ahead of others when it came to handling the media. While Harry and Meghan were being criticized in the media, stories about Camilla often sounded more positive. Harry didn't think this was by chance. He believed it was done on purpose, to protect Camilla's public image, even if it meant others looked bad. Meghan also reportedly felt that Camilla was unfriendly. When Meghan was struggling to adjust to royal life, Camilla didn't offer much support. Instead of showing care, she reportedly gave cold advice, like just get on with it, as if all royal women were expected to stay quiet and endure. If she really said that, it showed how far apart she was from the newer members of the family. There was no bond or kindness, only the need to survive. Camilla's full rise happened at the coronation, a moment many people never thought would come. For years, the palace said she would stay in the background. But now, there she was, standing next to Charles, crowned queen. It was a strong image, but not everyone was happy. To many, it felt like history was being rewritten. Camilla had gone from being the other woman to wearing the crown, while Diana's memory was still very much alive for millions. Camilla may never admit to causing these tensions, and perhaps not all of them were her fault. But from the very beginning, her presence has stirred something deep within the royal family. And now that she sits beside the king, those tensions have not vanished. They've simply become part of the crown she wears. Do you think Queen Camilla intentionally bullied Prince George and Louis, as some people have claimed? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.